always happens. Hey, we're live. Today we're just gonna goof around, have some fun. We're gonna do some giveaways. We're gonna give away, well, I'll just tell you. We're gonna give away 3 of these, and we're gonna give away one of these, the Private Pilot Study Guide. And we've got some questions marked. I'm gonna ask some questions so you can win. We'll ask a few just to kind of play and get people warmed up. We just had a CFI member, not CFI member. We just had a member who emailed me. I haven't talked to him yet. He's one of our pro members, and I did 6 Zooms on him, with him, and I know I harped and harped and harped and harped like I always do about endorsements and properly getting endorsements and making sure you go through the endorsements and your CFI goes through them and you go through the regs and you make everything right. Well, even after all that and all my harping, he struggled on a check ride, and I haven't even read the email. Heather gave me the highlights of it, and I'm like, this is what I preach over and over and over to people. But you know what? That's why we do it right here at HOGS, okay? It's not that freaking difficult. Open the damn book. Look in the advisory circular, look up the endorsements, and you got to make sure these endorsements are right. And one of their problems was a cross country that wasn't right. I tell that story with Jamie on the orange R44. So you know what? When I say, like with Jamie, he came up here with 2 years, 200 hours, and 8 instructors, and his endorsements weren't freaking right. And cross country was one of them, and we had to go in and fix all this stuff. Your instructor should be sitting down with you, and the question is going to get asked. There's an advisory circular from the FAA, and I'm going to ask this question a little bit. What's the number on it? If you have any doubt about an endorsement, you go to that from the FAA and just go through the thing and find the right damn endorsements, would you? I'm not mad at the member. I'm mad at his instructor. It's like, Jesus, people. Open up the FAR AIM, use the PTS, use the advisory circular, and make sure this stuff is right. This is why people fail check rides, because people don't take the time to fill out the paperwork properly, and it's a freaking nightmare. And examiners, that's why they get aggravated. It's all laid out in black and white how you can pass these check rides. It's not rocket freaking science, people. It's not. Anyway, it's a happy note. We're gonna play and have fun. I didn't expect to go on that tangent, but that's okay. We're ad-libbing it today. So we're going to give you some stuff. We're going to play a little trivia. Heather came up with this idea because she said, you know, people always like it. They enjoy doing the trivia. But of course, we got to pay the bills. So tomorrow night, March 31st, is the end of our 10-year anniversary. This month was horrible. Heather and I got sick, had the flu. Oh my God. And a bunch of other stuff happened. So this month didn't go as we'd planned, but that's life, right? Up and down, ride the wave, right? So right now we have 40% off anything through tomorrow night. That goes for the monthly subscriptions. There's a link down below, should be below in the video. We'll check when the video's over to make sure links are down there. But you can sign up, keep 40% forever. And if you're a member and you're paying the full price now, you can unsubscribe and sign back up with 40. We'll have to cancel it for you, but then you can sign back up with the 40. But Heather's in chat, she can take care of you. And it's after this video is over, 574-767-1797. Heather will get you fixed up. So then we got the big packages. These are we're going to give away a study guide. Anybody that signs up between now and midnight tonight for any of these bigger packages, we're going to send you the Private Pilot Study Guide. $97 value. This is a nice unit. It's a nice piece. So we got a Private Pilot 12 months. Private Pilot 12 months, if you pay full price, is over $1,000 bucks, like $1164. So we occasionally run a special, pay for 6, get 12 months access. We took 40% off of that. So you can get 12 months access, Private Pilot, for $349.20. That's a steal. We looked it up yesterday. We're thinking now like 191 videos, 23 hours of training. Yesterday I went through all the benefits of HOGS, of how we help you and help you get through check rides, because we go through and try to make you get your paperwork done right before you show up for the check ride. 50% of the battle, I'm telling you. And then we got a Pro Pilot 24 months with the 40% off. That's $598. That's private commercial CFI instrument for 24 months access. $598. On the page it says like $997 or whatever. That's 40% off. Then there's a Pro Lifetime private commercial CFI instrument. No zooms or extras, but you can keep it $1,080. That's $9,600 worth of training, and I say it all the time. And if you go pay per hour for every single rating, and you pay an instructor to teach you everything, hand feed it all to you, do everything, it's $9,600. It's a fact. Could be more, could be less, depending on what they're charging you per hour. So that $1,000 can save you substantially. And then we got the Pro Lifetime with 6 Zooms, where we work with you one-on-one, and people love them. They're invaluable, because what most of you need, we usually can straighten you out quicker than what you think. You have these hurdles in front of you, and you have these mountains you're trying to cross, but you're making a mountain out of a molehill, right? In our 6 Zooms, I do them, Brian does them, and we'll get Nick doing them with you as well soon. But these one-on-ones, we go in and surgically figure out what is your problem, and usually we'll have you straightened out quicker than you think, because most of these things you make a mountain out of a molehill. So you do 6 Zooms, that's $2,800. Our boy Daniel sells those for $2,800. Right now, until the end of tomorrow night, $1,680. That's normally $2,800. And that's lifetime with 6 Zooms. And you're gonna love the Zooms, I'm telling you. Nobody has not liked the Zooms. Just like nobody's ever went away with a bad experience from HOGS when they've come here to fly with us. They always leave happy and go, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we thank you for being members and coming to fly with us and everything that we do. Okay, so the Vertibird, I'll say about that. This is fun. And the helicopter check ride, also, we're gonna give these away today, but down below you can get the free PDF, or Heather will ship this to you for $7 shipping and handling. US only, please, sorry. Out of country shipping has turned into a nightmare, and things come back, and oh, it's turned into horrible. Let's hope that gets better in the future. But in the first chapter, I talk about the Vertibird, and I talk about how, you know, under the Christmas tree in 1973, you know, as a kid, I was fascinated by helicopters. My story, how I got involved in all this helicopter craziness. I'm sure it was Christmas back in the early 70s when I opened up the Vertibird box under the Christmas tree. That thing was the coolest, and I flew it until it almost would not fly anymore. So anyway, that's the first chapter in the book. So here it is. Could be why I'm anal today about, I'm going to call out, I'm not going to say his name, but somebody was here the other day and pulled out a box to pull a couple quarts of oil out of a case of oil, and they just left the box on the table. Well, we have all these boxes of oil underneath the workbench organized real nice. Why do you pull out the box, take your oil out, and then I have to put the box away? Am I, you know, we learned in kindergarten, when you get your toys out, when you're done, put them away, right? This is what I'm telling you, that the EMS check airman, I tell him that story, how he said, here's what you got to know, guys. Put your toys away when you're done playing with them. Well, as a kid, I was anal, and of course, I always put my stuff back away, right? I kept the boxes. So here it is, and I'll put it away today when we're done here, but the date on the side, I do believe, is 1973. So this thing, and considering 1973, it's on there somewhere. Anyway, I'd say decent, reasonable shape. Come on in, sit down. We're live, hang out. So, no fridge. Our fridge puked. Yep. So this thing, check it out. It's cool. But when I'm done, I'm going to put it back in the box with all the little cool things that came with it. Unfortunately, our little man is lost. But these things is what came with it. You got a lifeboat and a little capsule, and you take the Vertibird out and you fly it, and you hook up you put the guy in the boat, and you go out and you fly and pick him up, take him around, put him back on the rescue ship. See, toys, put them away when you're done. Keep all your pieces and parts where they should be. Let's see if this thing will fly. It's gonna be a little scary. Here we go. And it flies. Ain't that cool? Man, can you imagine being a kid? So 1973, how old was I? 1973, I would have been born in 65. So I wasn't even 10 years old. And can you imagine unwrapping this thing under the Christmas tree? My mom always overdid it. Always overdid it. And unwrapping that dude as a 8 or 9 year old kid. Blew that thing like crazy. Have a seat, relax. They can't see you over there on the camera. So, there's the Vertibird rescue ship. And we got new batteries. We had to make a little thing here today. We took 2 hard drives and had to put it underneath there to hold the batteries up in there. First, we didn't think it was going to fly, but I want to put it back over here with the box, and when we're done, remember, children, when you're done with your toys, put them away. That means when you're done with the helicopter, whatever your flight school wants you to do, put a certain amount of fuel in it, put it back, attach your seat belts, close the doors, nice and neat and interior, put the damn helicopter back the way you found it. Don't go fly it, then you bring it back and leave everything half-assed and seat belts hanging out the door and your trash, your water bottles laying in there. Don't do that, because the next person's not happy and it's not impressive at all. All right, so you keep me on track, Heather, because you know how I am. All right, we told you about the specials. Yep. So, before we get to our first question, we're going to give away 3 of these. We'll ask a couple questions to get you warmed up. How many people we got in there? 19.
20.
Got a pretty good chance at winning something. And then we're going to give away one of these. And then if you buy by midnight tonight any of these packages, Heather's going to ship you one of these direct from the manufacturer. We don't stock these here because they're kind of an expensive book to buy. So if we buy them, then ship them here and then have to ship them again, that just makes it even more expensive. So we just let the manufacturer of the book ship them to you. And I should have put a link down there for this. It's on Amazon. When we're done today, remind me, Heather, and we'll put an Amazon link down below. So if you want this dude, you can get it. So, all right, let's get to asking some questions. And then I want to tell you about a story out of this book about icing. And it plays into
Live to fly another day. Helicopterground.com.
I made a really stupid move in an aircraft when I should have never taken off, and I'm going to tell you what I did so you can learn from my stupid dumbass mistake. Because we learn through mistakes, right? Or we learn from making mistakes. Some people like my stories. I know people say, oh, he's pretty windy. Well, a lot of people go, man, we love the real world stories. So let's test you with some questions. And we're starting at the very beginning, because the thing that I always say and I complain about is every time you go for a check ride, guess what happens? The examiner starts with the easy stuff. And I don't care if you're going for private pilot, commercial pilot, instrument pilot, or CFI. The check rides, listen to me, the check rides start out the same way every single time. It's not rocket science. December 2020, I went to the CFI renewal. So I've been doing check rides with this guy for 20 years. So I expected the good old boy, brother-in-law, oh, come in, ask you a couple simple questions, go do a quick flight, and sign you off. Well, I overstepped my bounds. And if I would, at the time, we didn't have this created yet. I told Brian once he had this finished, I said, you know what? If I was going for a CFI renewal today, this is what I would use. I would use the private pilot study guide, because Brian is the most detailed-oriented pilot I've ever seen in my entire life. I've told the story about how when Brian was teaching me, practicing for CFI, and he was teaching me induced flow, and it was like an hour and 15 minutes. And it was a great presentation, but I'm going, oh my God, Brian, an hour and 15 minutes? My God, it was unbelievably detailed. So anyway, Brian built this to help you study for a private pilot. But even though it says private pilot, you can use it for the commercial, the instrument, the CFI, because especially certificates and documents. What do you have to have on you? What do you have to do to be current? This is where the check ride starts. So back to my story about my CFI renewal. I went in there all cocky and, oh, hey, I'm Kenny Keller, helicopter ground school, and I've been giving check rides forever, and I'm the man. And just expected to skate through this CFI renewal check ride. And I think the oral was 4 hours. So even though we're friends and we've been doing check rides forever, he didn't let me slough off. He did the real deal, man. And where did I get tripped up? Stupid stuff. I don't know how many times I got to tell you. It's not the coagulation of the equation of the forces of the atmosphere that screws up your check ride. What screws up your check ride is like the member that just screwed up a check ride yesterday because his endorsements weren't right. That's what people screw up. So we're going to ask easy stuff. But a couple of these, again, a lot of stuff you think is easy because you learn it early on as a private, but then when you ask, you don't always, you'll see what I'm talking about here. So here we go. All right, so Heather, we got to tell them, disclaimer, she said, make sure you tell them today. The winners go by the winners on our screen right here, okay? So I can see the screen, and it's the same screen that Heather sees. So when we play these games and trivia and do giveaways, YouTube chat doesn't show the same on everybody's device. So what we show here is how we claim the winner. And here's what happens after every time we do giveaways. Somebody emails Heather after the fact, and they're pissed off because, well, I won that book. And they'll screenshot the chat and send it to her. But we tell you when we get ready to play, hey, we're going by our chat. We have to. We can't go by Joe's chat in Maryland or Mary's chat in California. We have to go by the HOGS chat. So we're claiming the winner by our chat. And you just have to be good with that, you know. And if you email us and you get snarly with us, we're going to smack you around. It's right there. I can see it. Heather can see it. So we judge the answer correctly. And it's to match our book, okay? Sometimes an answer could vary a little bit, but we're going to go by the terminology used in this book right here, okay? Because that's just easier. The way Brian wrote it, the way the correct answer is, that's what we want to hear. Please use proper pronunciation if possible. Don't just like type so fast because you need to scribble something in there. Type out the answer the best you can legibly so we can read it. All right, let's play.
Warm-up ones?
Yeah, let's do, how many warm-ups should we do? 3? I marked a bunch of them. Let's do like 3 warm-up questions. Get you guys ready. 27 people in here. Very not like Will Smith, yeah. Yeah, let's not even talk about that. All right. Easy one. This is just for practice. We'll do 3 for practice. I love the number 3. We're going to do 3 for practice. Then maybe I'll tell my icing story. And then we'll ask some more and give away some books. And subliminal message, don't forget, HOGS needs to pay the bills. Specials through tonight and tomorrow night, but the private pilot study guide by tonight. Heather will ship you that private pilot study guide. Okay, so easy one. When must the aircraft position lights be on? First person to type it properly in chat, and we're watching, Heather's watching, I'm watching. We're going to send you a paperback copy of Helicopter Check Ride. And Heather just got in a new shipment. We have 50 of these that came in. And 50 of the top 10 check ride tips. But we've been talking about top 10 check ride tips a lot in the last couple months, and we haven't hit this one. This was my first book in 2014, and I was really excited that I went to bed, and the next morning when I got up, it was #1 bestseller by the next morning. It was really cool. And what is Helicopter Check Ride? It's a little bit about me in the beginning, not much. It's a little bit how I kind of got my start. And then it's just a bunch of stuff. The helicopter 3s, some weather decisions I've made. There's a lot of stuff in here, so it's just a book if you want to read about helicopter flying, get some good tips, positive change of flight controls, distractions during the practical test, the 1-hour flight lesson, all kinds of stuff in here. So, sunset to sunrise, who's first? Paul, I should ask you. Looks like Paul G, right?
Yeah.
All right, Paul G's got it. And Paul G probably already has this, but that's okay.
Practice question anyway.
Oh yeah, duh, I wasn't giving one away, right?
Yeah, nope.
See?
First 3 questions.
If Heather wasn't here, this would be a mess. It would be an absolute
I was
mess.
going to say, I could probably get you to sign these 3 books.
We could do that. You know what? When we give them away, I'll have Heather will make me sign them before she boxes them up and ships them. All right. Here's the one that should.
Number 2.
Here's practice question number 2. And again, this stuff is what screws people up. It sounds like a really simple question, but people, I guarantee you somebody's going to type this in wrong. When can you count your takeoff and landings as nighttime? When can you log it in your logbook as night? Type it correctly, or as close as correctly as possible. There's Jenny. Yep, she's late. That's okay. So, when can you count your takeoffs and landings as nighttime? Because you have to have those logged, right, to be current for passengers, to take passengers up at night. So, when can you count your takeoffs and landings as nighttime? Come on, somebody. There's 31 of you in there. Come on. So, by the way,
Sunrise and or after, oh, those are from the other one.
not, nope. Chad, no. Taylor, no. Somebody else. What's the time? There we go. 1 hour before sunset and 1 hour before sunrise. It should be 1 hour after sunset. It's not right. Not an hour before sunset, an hour after sunset. Somebody type it in correctly, because it might be coming through the system right now. Beginning 1 hour after sunset, ending 1 hour before sunrise. You were halfway there. Chad, I know I don't have the book. That's fine. Okay, Paul, you got half of it. 1 hour after sunset. Come on, somebody. I just gave you the answer. Type it in correctly. Come on.
Still practice, right?
Still practice, yeah. And this is good we did this. See why I say these seem like so simple questions. And look at people typing in the wrong answer. This is where the examiner is going to start your check ride. He's going to ask you about daytime, nighttime, current to be passengers. What do you have to have on you? What do you have to have in the aircraft? And that's why I've picked out some of these today, and we're doing these very simple. Stuff that you think, oh, this is easy. Come on, here we go. Was it Paul? 1 hour after sunset and 1 hour before sunrise. There you go. Paul again. Paul, you're on it.
What was the answer to the first question?
First question was sunset to sunrise. All right, here we go. Having fun yet? Nice, 37 people. All right, we're rolling. Oh, okay. This is a good one. Now, you got to type this answer in correctly. Well, it's still a practice, but everybody needs to know this. I told you the story starting out today about one of our members who just had a check ride yesterday, and things didn't go well because the endorsements were not correct. And I bitch about this all the time, and I bitch and I complain and I moan and I whine, and people still don't fill out the logbooks correctly. That's why you should come here and fly with us. That's why we have the final approach course, because we're going to work with you one-on-one before you ever get here. And the first thing I'm going to do with you is remotely over Zoom, I'm going to have this document, not this document I'm going to ask for, but we're going to go through your logbook, and I'm going to go, okay, what's your cross country? Where was it? Let's measure it. And I treat people like you're in kindergarten, right? It keeps going back to the kindergarten thing. It's like we're kindergartners. And we're going to go through the list in the FAR AIM, what you have to do. And we're going to go step by step by step by step, go through your logbook. And whatever the reg says, we're going to go check your logbook and go, okay, I know you say that cross country's done, let's measure it. And we're going to pull up either a chart, we're going to use either paper chart, or we'll use ForeFlight or whatever, and we're going to check that. And we're going to make sure all your requirements are done, or if there's something that needs to be finished up when you get here that we have to do here, we know this ahead of time. That's why we built the final approach course, because I've been doing check rides for 21 years now, and examiners know I don't bring somebody in with a bunch of jacked up shit in the logbook, okay? We go through it and we take the time and we do it freaking right. It's not that hard, people, but half the instructors out there, it seems like, don't know how to do it correctly. Okay, so I'm looking for a number. Let me just ask the question. Here we go. This is important. This is important. It's what we're talking about. Your logbook must be accurate and contain all the required endorsements from your instructor. That's what we're talking about. Where can you find a list of all required endorsements you will need to be eligible for the practical test? And I'm looking for something from the FAA. Every single one of my CFI students shows up at their check ride with this document from the FAA. They have it printed out, and it's on the table with them, and it's one of their resources for their CFI check ride. My examiner of 21 years taught me that in the beginning. He said, Kenny, every CFI student you bring in from here till the end of time, make sure they have this download printed out and on the table along with everything else. It's not in the PTS. And every CFI student I've ever done has this document. So what document is it that you can use? Nope, it's not 8410. Nope, I'm looking for where can you find a list of all required endorsements you will need to be eligible for the practical test? I'm going to give you a hint. It's an AC. And I don't even care about, you don't even have to spell out what AC is. I want to know the number. I want to know AC what? Those of you going for CFI should know this number already. If you're CFI, there you go, Nick. He got it. AC 6165H. You've just restored my faith in the population of the United States. Somebody knows the answer and knows the document and knows the number. Bam, AC 6165H. If you're going for CFI, that should be burned in your brain. And you need to have that. And our member that had a problem with the check ride yesterday, I'll bet you $5 his instructor doesn't have a copy of that because they screwed the endorsements up and they weren't right. He didn't use that document. Okay, there's our 3 practice. So let's do first paperback giveaway. Very easy. And I want months. I want this in months. When does a flight review due? This is easy. Come on, somebody. Helicopter check ride. Heather is going to ship you this book. The first person that types in, when is a flight review due? And they type it in correctly. Nick Long, 24 months. There you go. Good job. Boom, he is on it. So yes, Nick, email heather@helicopterground.com. Give her your shipping address. Say, hey, I won the helicopter check ride. And she's going to ship you a paperback copy. Awesome. Nice. Cool. 24 calendar months, not 2 years. That's not correct. 2 years and 24 calendar months is two different things. The answer is 24 calendar months. All right, before we give the next book away, let's talk about my icing situation. I wrote about it in this book. And I actually have a video on this. It's really old. It's probably 6 or 8 years old on YouTube. But here's what you need to know about icing and your no-go decision. Anytime you are near freezing, okay, and be conservative on these numbers, and I'm going to tell you attitudes in the industry and what I think. When it comes to icing, anytime the temperature is near freezing, and I like saying, you know, we're going to talk Fahrenheit today, 28 to 34 or 27 to 35. I'm really conservative on this number, okay? Anytime that you are close to freezing and you have some kind of visible moisture, there's a danger of icing, okay? And I even argued this on flying EMS. I turned down a flight. Well, first when I did EMS, I turned down a flight because I thought it was icing conditions. The company down the road took it, and guess what happened? That EMS pilot ended up out in the field with a patient on board because they got ice. I made the right call. But again, because I learned way back, and I'll tell you that in a minute. And then another EMS base I flew with a Coast Guard, opposite a Coast Guard pilot. I turned down an EMS flight because I thought it was possible icing. And the base manager complained and said, hey, I'd have taken that flight. It was like such and such degrees. And I'm like, well, you know, that's your choice to make that flight. I think it was too close to freezing. I asked the Coast Guard pilot who I worked opposite, and I said, in this condition, with this visible moisture and this degree, would you have went? And he said, hell no, I wouldn't have went. Coming from a guy who flew for the freaking Coast Guard, okay? Those guys fly in, I've met these guys, they fly in the worst possible conditions. And they're kind of pushed to go because they're the freaking Coast Guard, right? So those guys go even when it's really, really bad. And even this ex-Coast Guard pilot said, nope, hell no, I wouldn't have flown. I would not have flown with that condition. So here's what I did, and I wrote about it in the book. I think it's called Kenny's Stupid Weather Decision. We're flying a Jet Ranger for news reporting, okay? So every day you check the weather, you're looking to see what's going to be happening through the day. They were calling for light icing later in the day. let's say it's been years ago, but let's say it was, 4 to 6 hours into the future that they were calling for icing conditions. We get a news call. I'm actually in Cleveland of all places, and I'm flying the Jet Ranger, and we get a call to go south of Cleveland to go down for an accident. So it's a news call, right? We're in the air in like 10 minutes. I'm going, it's like a half an hour down there. I'll get down there, we'll get this accident shot, and I'll get back to home before the icing conditions start. It was already close enough, and I shouldn't have taken the call. And our fuel guy, believe it or not, one of the guys that pulled the helicopter in and out for us and pulled the dolly in and out, the prime mover, he was also a camera guy. They actually allowed him to, if they had enough line guys, they would allow him to jump in with us and go be our camera guy. So he wasn't a pilot, but he worked at an airport and he flew with us, operating the camera. So he had a good idea of weather. And that day when he was pulling us out, he kind of looked at me and he kind of looked at the sky and he looked at me and I go, yeah, I know they're calling for icing, but that's not till later. And he's like, oh, okay. He didn't even say anything. I just knew he was kind of questioning me going out. So we fire up and we take off. And at first the rain is going across the windshield, just like it should. It's some light rain. I'm like, it's enough above freezing. Well, you got to remember, if it's 34 on the ground, as you go up 500 feet, 1,000 feet, it gets colder, right? What do we do? It gets colder 2.5 degrees every 1,000 feet, I believe, if I remember right. So you might be 35 or 36 on the ground, and you get up at altitude, you're freezing. So we take off to the south. We're heading to this accident. Right at first, I'm like, I'm okay. The rain's moving. It's light rain. It's just, no big deal. It's just moving up the windshield. And I'm flying along. let's say I'm halfway to the accident. And then all of a sudden I notice, those water droplets aren't moving anymore. Well, what was happening? I was getting into freezing conditions. So immediately I'm like, okay, I need to start thinking about a place to land. And this fast, people, I'm telling you, this fast, as I'm looking for a place to land, I realized I'm not going to even make it to the next airport. I'm going to have to land in a field. The windshield iced up so fast. And the Jet Ranger, your PIC in the right. I flew right-hand circles over a field, looking out the window, the side window, because the side wasn't icing up, as the windshield's icing up. So I'm looking out the window, doing right-hand circles to lose altitude and get down and land in the field. And I'm going to be transparent. What did we do next? We got out we checked the GPS, and there was a little airport short distance away, mile or two. One of us gets out. I don't remember who did it. I think it was me. I had the student with me who was a private pilot, and that students got to go along in the Jet Ranger if they happened to be there when you get a flight. I had him guard the controls, and I got out and I used my checklist to scrape ice off the windshield so I could see. And I hopped over to the next airport then because I could see, but I was nervous. But staying in the field, is that what I should have done? Probably. Should I have even hopped to that next airport? Probably not. But we made it safely. We got over there, and in a very short time, this aircraft's covered in ice. So they come down, pick us up. There was a new owner of the company that had taken over, and he'd mounted a $500,000 new camera on the nose of the aircraft. And we get back, and then we meet at the airport the next day. And the owner was cool about it. He came out and he said, well, hey, Kenny, at least you got on the ground, and you made it safe, and nobody got hurt. But then he was just like, don't do it again, right? Well, how ignorant do you feel and how stupid do you feel when there's known icing conditions in the forecast? I'm going to sneak out before the forecasted icing conditions and do this quick flight and get it done. I had the right idea in my mind. I thought I could do it safely. Was I wrong? Yeah. So this is why I say when it comes down to being conservative, you need to be very conservative when you're freezing. If it's 20 degrees, not a problem. 20 degrees, that snow's going to go right over your windshield. It's not going to collect on the blades. So there's a point where when it's really cold, where you're not going to get icing. But if you're near freezing, above or below, you can get icing on your windshield. You can get icing on the rotor blades. All kinds of bad things can happen, and people make the wrong decisions. Be very, very, very conservative about icing. It's a good little story, and I learned from it. After being embarrassed and feeling stupid because the helicopter sits down there for like a day, 24 to 48 hours because of the bad weather, then we had to travel back down there by car, and we had to move the thing inside and thaw it out. There was so much freaking ice on that aircraft with this $500,000 camera hanging up the front. I felt like a complete turd, right? Because I made that choice to go that day. And it was a bitch getting the thing moved back in the hangar. But luckily, there was somebody had a hangar there, and they were willing to let us in. We pushed the aircraft in, got it all thawed out, cleaned everything up good, made sure there was no ice, come out, started up, and flew it back home. So we were, our helicopter was gone from the hangar for a couple days because Yo-Yo took off in, possible icing conditions for later that afternoon, and that made me feel like a real ass. So, you got to do stupid stuff sometimes, I guess, to learn, but hopefully you do stupid stuff and survive to tell the story and then use those decisions going forward. I didn't know this for a long time, but I found out a few years ago when we were at the other airport, one of the guys working for me, he goes, well, we were talking about these kind of situations, and he said, well, they do call you Cautious Color. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, that's your nickname. I'm like, how long have you guys been calling me Cautious Color? And I was like, I don't know, that's just what everybody calls you because you're so conservative about everything. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to take that as a slam. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Because if it's Cautious Color is my nickname, that means I don't want to go out and frickin' die in a helicopter crash. Remember, I survived the ground resonance incident where I was ejected from the helicopter with my seat. That changes a guy's way of thinking too, or a girl's way of thinking. So, we learn from what happens to us, and that's all I'm trying to do through these stories and videos and things we talk about. I'm just trying to tell you what to look out for. You're going to go out and probably make some mistakes, and you're probably going to do some stupid stuff. And trust me, I've done a hell of a lot of them. All right, I hear Heather typing away. I was on a roll. Still got 36.
Hit the no-go button.
To fly another day. Helicopter ground.
All right, so let's give away some books. What do you think? So remember, this is down below. Heather will ship this to you. $7 shipping and handling in the U.S. Sorry for now, we're going to limit out of the country. Our experience has that been horrible lately, Heather? It's like it's just like we run into constant problems trying to ship stuff overseas. It's lost for 6 weeks, and then it shows back up, and we don't even get credited for the shipping.
Or they won't even allow us to ship it.
Some of them they won't even allow us. Currently, you can't ship to that country. I don't know, crazy screwed up world we're living in. Free PDF down below, or Heather will ship it. There's a link down there for you. All right, let's hammer through 3 questions and give away 3 books. While people are here, 35 watching, let's go.
2 more books and 1 set back. Nick Long won the first one.
Okay, all right, see, good thing Heather keeps track of this stuff because I can't even keep track of my own name. All right, let's see. Good stuff. Here's the next 2. Should be easy, but I'll tell you what, I've had to argue this with somebody. The owner of the book, or the owner that wrote this, I said, well, I don't think that's right. He's like, oh yeah, it is. And I'm like, I think you better look. This is the way we've been answering this on check rides for 20 years. He was like, well, maybe your examiner doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, I don't know, you better check. And then he texted me later, he goes, hey dude, you were right. I looked that up. So I know these are correct. These are good ones. And people screw these up. So, who is responsible for maintaining the aircraft in airworthy condition, including inspections and AD compliance? This is the next book. And I know that we're going to get 2 answers, and part of you are going to be right, and the other part of you are going to be wrong. Who is responsible for maintaining the aircraft in an airworthy condition, including inspections and AD compliance? You're halfway there. There we go. Owner operated. Jenny, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what's in the book, owner operator. So we are going to claim Jenny. She's probably already got one.
Probably.
Jenny, do you have this book already? If not, and Jenny is actually coming here to fly with us in May.
Both of them.
She's got both of them.
I'm pretty sure.
You know what? We'll give away another one. And if she wants it, another one. She's coming to fly. So we'll give away 2 more. Because this is fun. I like these questions. Who is responsible for determining the aircraft is safe for flight? Who is responsible for determining if the aircraft is safe for flight? It's a pretty easy one. Pilot, yeah, PIC, there you go. H-copter got it. PIC, pilot in command. We'll go pilot in command, H-copter. Sorry, Chad, pilot, you're right, but the terminology is pilot in command. Because you could have 2 pilots in the helicopter. You could have 8 pilots in the helicopter. Pilot in command is, and I know you're new, Chad. I know you're just getting started. But pilot in command, meaning the guy that's going to fly it, you're responsible to do your pre-flight, walk around, check your fuel, and check everything necessary pertaining to that flight. And I'm surprised that actually everybody did pretty good on that one though. Nice. All right. So, I like this one. This is going to be a 2-parter. I want 2 answers to this question. So we talk about the POH, or the Rotorcraft Flight Manual, whatever you want to call it. Pilot's Operating Handbook, Rotorcraft Flight Manual. It's the manual that has to be in the book to go fly, or in the helicopter to go fly. It's right over here in this helicopter. Okay? In that book, that POH or Rotorcraft Flight Manual, what is the name of Section 2? What is the name of Section 2? And the second part of that, hang on, don't start typing yet. The answer is, must you comply with that section? So it's 2-part answer. So please type your answer correctly together. What is the name of that section? And must you comply with that section? Anybody? Somebody? What is Section 2? What's the name of it? And must you comply with what is in Section 2? Limitations. And yes, no prize. So that means, Patrick, you don't want the prize? Limitations, yes. So he answered correctly. It is the limitations section, and yes, you must comply with it. Let's answer some more. So is that a, nope, he doesn't need the prize?
It's a different person. So Nathan Hankins gets it. Patrick is the one that said no prize.
Oh, okay, so Nathan got it first.
Yep.
It's a good thing you're watching. All right, Nathan, email heather@helicopterground.com with your address. Let's give away another one. Want to?
Sure, let's do a 4th.
Let's do a 4th.
We'll do the study guide?
And then we'll do a study guide. Let's do a 4th. This is fun.
I know, right? Trivia is great.
It is fun. You know what? It is fun.
We can do some more tomorrow.
We'll do some more tomorrow. Let's do it. Let's do some more tomorrow. We'll do some more giveaways. This is fun stuff. Before we give away the next book and then the study guide, we got to do a quick commercial. 40% off through tomorrow night. The code is 40% off. However, down below we have links. You don't even need that code. You can go down HOGS below right now and sign up for the monthly or private, or the private or advanced monthly, 40% off for as long as you keep the course. That's like $58 a month. That's an hour of ground school. You get 23 hours of training for the entire month. And there's a 24-hour test flight included with that. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee on that, so there's no, the burden's on us to provide you the value. There's no risk to you. You got 30 days to refund. Private pilot, 12 months. We call it 12 months access. And there we're back. There we go. Quick fix. All right, we'll see how much charge we got in this one.
There we are.
83 minutes. All right. That means you're going on too long, Keller. Finish up these prizes and let people get on with their day, right?
Too much fun.
It is fun. We like it. What time is it? All right, 3:44. Let's people want to get on with their day, so let's give this stuff away. So remember, you got the 12 months access. Pay for 6, but then take 40% off, $349. Pro Pilot, 24 months, $598. Pro Pilot Lifetime, $1,080. $1,680 for the Pro Lifetime with 6 Zooms. Good till tomorrow night. And if you take any of those today, Today, by midnight, tonight, we're going to send you one of these. I probably won't go all the way through tomorrow night because these are expensive books. And then we got to pay to ship them. So, all right. So one more book, study guide, and we'll wrap it up so everybody can get on with their day. This is fun. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So, I like this one. Where can you find the kinds of equipment operation list? Where can you find the kinds of equipment operation list? So, while we're waiting, Nick, I had Heather bring her copy in today since you took my copy. I'm like, oh my God, I gave my copy to Nick. I don't have one for tomorrow. She goes, well, it's okay because I got 2 at home because the first one didn't come through with Brian's signature, our first run of them, and that was a big fiasco last summer. But anyway, Heather had an extra at home, so we're good. We're good to go. So Nick, you're off the hook. I was going to complain, but you're good. You got it. We got an extra.
Because I did what you said I could.
I know. I did tell you could take it. You're right. I didn't know I was going to do this week, so it worked out.
So,
Nah, I want to know the section. See, good question, because I'm going to read it again. I want to know, okay, all right, POH, I get it, but I want to know the section. I'm sorry. Where can you find the kinds of equipment operation list? Yes, it is the POH. And it is limitations. That is correct. So who was the first?
Patrick S.
Patrick S., you are the winner of the 4th copy of Helicopter Check Ride. Email heather@helicopterground.com. You got it. And we'll do one more and we'll get out of here. We'll wrap it up. I enjoy this though. This is fun. It's cool sitting there watching what comes through. Very nice. Okay, here we go. So, this is for the private pilot study guide. As soon as we click end live, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to put the Amazon link below this video. So you can order a copy of this. Yeah, it's $97. Why? It's a $40 book just to have the thing made. Now, because the price of everything in the world has skyrocketed, as you know, the price of getting these made has doubled. Has over 400 questions. Operations manager Brian Rutledge put this together last summer, and he spent 3 to 4 months putting this together, compiling things that you're going to get asked on a check ride. And look how much we had just answering simple questions today. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get them right. So you got certificates and documents, airworthiness requirements, weather information, cross-country, airspace, performance and limitations, operations of systems, aeromedical factors, and general aerodynamics. 400 questions. And the way Brian put this together, we made it this purposely. We spent the extra money for the best paper, the good cover, because we didn't want to send you a piece of crap. We wanted to send you a nice book. So we did the spiral bound so you can lay the book down when you're studying, because it's annoying. A normal paperback book, it's hard to work with and you're flipping back and forth. So we did the nice spiral bound, got the best paper, the best covers. We put the nice tabs in them so you can go to whichever section. And the way Brian built this is, let's use airworthiness requirements like we're talking about now. He goes through first and asks the question. And we left enough room on this so that you can write your own answer in, okay? We purposely did this so you can work through, example, airworthiness requirements. You go through and you can have enough room to write in the correct answer to test your knowledge. Because how do we learn? We learn through repetition and we learn through writing things down. So we did this. We made this book for people who want to smoke, ace, 100% slam a check ride, okay? This is not a quick 15 minutes, I'm going to read through this and I'm going to go past my check ride. No, this is you're going to commit to sit down and spend hours going through this book, testing your own knowledge. So you can go through it, test your own knowledge, write the answers in, or not, it's your book, you can do what you want, and then that same section is duplicated with the answers. So our thinking is, and we polled everybody, as we were building this, we polled people and said, hey, what do you like? What do you think? And we took what was most popular opinions, and that's how we made the book. And we agreed with the most popular. We liked spiral bound, the section duplicated so you can go through, test your own knowledge, and then just go to the next, within that section, the second half of that section, it's the same question with the answers listed below. So for example, what personal documents must be in your possession when operating a civil aircraft in the United States? A, U.S. driver's license, government issued ID, U.S. Armed Forces ID, passport, medical certificate, pilot certificate, okay? So the last question I wanted to ask, because this is a good one, short, sweet, why is there a minimum gross weight? And that is for this $97 valued book, right? This is what we're giving away now. Correct, Heather? This is what we're giving away. Why is there a minimum gross weight? And while we're waiting for you to answer, very shortly here, I'm going to put the link down below. You can grab your copy of this from Amazon, and we'll put the link down below so you can find it. Free PDF for this down below, and Heather, for $7 in the US, will ship you the book. It's this sells on Amazon now for like $12.
Couple answers in.
Okay.
Ted Kowinski is one of them that won our iPad.
The answer I was looking for is auto rotation. So it looks like Eric Coleman got it.
Sweet.
Correct? CG, yes. Performance, yeah. Weight and balance, yeah. But the answer in our book, the way Brian wrote it, why is there a minimum gross weight? A, in order to auto rotate. Is there a B? Nope. In order to auto rotate. So Eric Coleman,
Awesome.
you have the private pilot study guide coming to you. Email Heather at helicopterground.com. She will go on the manufacturer's website of the book and have them ship it to you direct. And that one, I guess, since Amazon's shipping it, that one, if you are out of the US, we'll let that one slide, because for whatever reason, Amazon can get shit to go through when we can't. I don't know why that is. Why can Amazon ship out of well, because they're big and they're Amazon and they do this shit for a living. All right. I'm going to just try to wrap up because that's almost an hour of your time. We had a good crowd showed up, kept 30-some people in here almost the whole time. Very nice. It was fun. Show old dog can learn new things. Absolutely. Awesome. Gabriel. Man, Gabriel, I'm sorry I haven't talked to you lately. Man, can't wait to see you again. Sorry I missed you at Heli Expo. Honestly, I wanted to go, but then my daughter's like, Dad, we got corn tickets. I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm not going to Expo. And corn was, oh my God, I was on a high for 2 days after that. Just that concert was freaking amazing. That's why I did not go, because my daughter was more important than Heli Expo. But Gabriel, we are so freaking proud of you, man. People, Gabriel was live with us at our old hangar, came in and got on camera and talked about his personal struggles, what he had to overcome to become a pilot. And now Gabriel is a double I out there doing it, and his struggle was real. And we all struggle, and we all have things that we go through in our lives and things that hurdles we have to overcome. Becoming a pilot is not easy. Getting your first job is not easy. Nick Rasmussen? I make a joke, Rasmussen. Nick Rasmussen. He's here in chat. Nick is our new CFI, working for both us and Venture Helicopters. Nick just moved 1,800 miles across the country to come here and take a chance on getting his start on his career. And what's cool, I was 36 when I tried to get my career going, and he's the same age now. And he came all the way from, he made a sacrifice. And he's sacrificing to go for his dream. He's not going to be making right now the money he was making. Hopefully we'll get him there, but he had to take a risk and had to take a chance and moved 1,800 miles across the country with his wife and his 2 dogs and packed all of his stuff up, and here he is because he's going for the dream. So that's what it takes. Gabriel, almost 850 hours. Are you freaking kidding me? God, man, I can't wait to see you, man. It was inspiring that day. I'm glad we got to go out and fly the Instrum. You were so much fun to talk to and hang out with. And we are so freaking proud of you, man. Living proof. To go for your dreams is not easy. Anything worth value, anything worth doing is not easy. This is not for the weak. If you want to become a pilot, whether you just want to do a private pilot, that's not easy. If you want to become a CFI and get your start in the world, that's not easy either. Everybody struggles. Everybody's got hardships. But that's why we're here, to help make those mountains, turn them into molehills with Helicopter Airline Ground School, that you can get 40% off through tomorrow night. This is our biggest sale of the year, people. We will not do 40% again this year. We will not do this large of a saving in 2022. We're 10 years online. We're super proud of what we did, and that's why we give the biggest discount for our March. And this year, 10 years. 10 years is a big deal. 10 years is a big deal. Jason just sent me something, one of the helicopters, a message a few days ago about a message from an entrepreneur that wrote on Facebook and said, you know, people don't understand, and you know, being an entrepreneur is tough too. And you're the marketer, and you're the chief in charge, and you pay the bills, and you got all the worries as the entrepreneur, as the owner. People don't understand the struggle, and it ends up costing you personal relationships, costs you friends, it costs you to be an entrepreneur and go for your dreams. There's a sacrifice. There's a sacrifice that comes with that. Like anything good in life. So let's wrap it up. Let people get out of here. 40% off the private or the advanced for as long as you want to keep it. 12 months access. Full price is $11.64. Normally $5 something. Another 40% off. $349. 12 months access. By midnight, Heather's going to send you this private pilot study guide. Pro Pilot 24 months, that's private commercial CFI instrument. Buy by midnight tonight. Heather's going to ship you the private pilot study guide. Pro Lifetime, private commercial CFI instrument. That's normally $1,800, 40% off is $1,080. That's $9,600 worth of training. It is. And you're keeping it, it's going to be there. It took me 4 years off the street to get from off the street to CFI. What I paid, even back then, I'd have paid $1,000 for a freaking ground school that walks you through this stuff. When I was struggling, beating my head against the wall and fell in my first check ride because I was trying to study this stuff on my own, it's cheap for the amount of value you get. Do you realize the amount of time and effort we have in 4 courses? It's quite extensive, and people love our courses. They work. And if you don't love it, 30-day money back, no hassle guarantee on these packages. And then the big one, Pro Lifetime with 6 Zooms. Right now, 40% off, $1,680. If any of you want to go for that by tonight, midnight, and Heather watches, because Heather's going to ship, when you sign up, Heather's going to send you an email, because she watches as people come in and sign up, and then she'll email you, hey, Bob, we see you're the new member, saw you went for Pro Lifetime. You got a study guide coming, and she's going to get your address from you. She's going to ship it to you.
Now till midnight.
Now till midnight.
Big packages, not on the monthlies.
Big packages, right. Not for the monthly, because monthly, it's clear down to like $58 for a month, and this is going to cost us $40 just to give you the book. Well, more, because we're shipping. That's it. That was fun. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll come back. Eric Coleman, thank you. You guys rock. You guys rock too. I got to thank all of you. You're here. Still 24 people after an hour of me ranting and raving. That's awesome. We're here because of you guys and girls. Hogs would not be here without you. You. Yeah, you. You. The people on the other side of that camera that are sitting there watching me babble for almost an hour. You're why we're here. You're how and why we did it. So a sincere, heartfelt thank you for 10 years. An awesome friggin' 10 years. And I don't want to get emotional. We'll get you up on the Hogs Wall of Fame after you pass. It's become a thing. People tell us, and Heather can verify. They'll email us, or they'll text, or they'll call. My goal is to get on that Wall of Fame. Right there it is. And once you're up there,
Live to fly another day. Helicopterground.com.
Heather's going to send you the no-go on us.
Live to fly another day. Live to fly another day. Helicopterground.com.
Peace out.